Nothing angers me more than when the mainstream media drumbeats something that they've ignored en masse, like one, Biden's cognitive decline, two, Hunter Biden laptop, three, Jeffrey Epstein. But right now, number one is Jeffrey Epstein. Do not go on your news program 4 years and some change later and pretend you give a flying fuck about any of this. Jake Tapper, MSNBC, CNN, Fox, I don't... You people spent an entire administration not mentioning Jeffrey Epstein. Marsha Blackburn spent an entire 4 years with some other senators trying to get those flight logs and information released, and all the Senate had to do, who's in charge of the committee, was at the time get Dick Durbin to okay the release, and he wouldn't do it. I specifically remember throwing my hands up during this time period and nothing. So now that Trump's in charge, we have Jake Tapper and all of your political hacks screaming about, where's the Epstein tapes? Where's the docs? Where's the logs? Release the tapes. Where was this for the last 4 years and some change? I'm fucking so annoyed with this. But since we're beating this drum, I'm happy to beat down the door for this. Yeah, oh yeah, I want all of it. I don't care who's in charge. Yeah, they're spitting in our face right now. If you are going to pretend to be the administration fighting for justice and transparency, you put Dan Bongino in there and Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, Pam Bondi, should have been Matt Gaetz. But in my opinion, this is even worse because you have everybody from your AG to the director of the FBI, to the deputy director of the FBI, to the head of DNI, to your vice president, screaming about how when you get in there, we're getting everything. And then we get nothing. And we get some gaslighting BS about how that's what you're still talking about. It's not going to work this time. This is too important. This means way too much. And it's at the heart of everything because it's intelligence. It's money laundering, it's trafficking, and it is every elite root of power, not just in the United States, internationally, everywhere. And it's probably tied to that little ally of ours who has less of a GDP than Singapore to us, but somehow we do everything for them. And we have no idea why we're so allied with a country who tried to fake an attack and say it was Egypt, like the USS Liberty. So I'm glad you gaslighting bullshit artists, hypocrites who didn't say goddamn anything for the last 4 years and some change while Joe Biden was in charge about Jeffrey Epstein are now starting to chirp up. Glad you joined the bandwagon, you deceitful cover-up artists. Don't pretend that you all in the media who are crowing about this now didn't have this information to begin with and sat on it and did nothing for years before the story broke. And then when the story broke and Joe Biden was in charge, you buried the papers too. You did. It was in the Senate to come release the logs, release the this, release the that. Marsha Blackburn went there all the fucking time in the hearings to talk about it. And Dick Durbin did what? Protected it. So Trump is signaling when he says, oh, we're still talking about that? Yeah, we're still talking about that. That's a signal to the elites that I'll keep your secrets too. It's to Versailles, the imperial class of people. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Just so everybody's aware. They did it during Clinton, Obama, Biden, Trump. Except for this time, Joe Biden wasn't sitting here saying, he wasn't saying much of anything. He was mentally handicapped and demented, so who cares? But his administration didn't say much about it at all. Very mum on those details. And nobody asked because it's a Democrat, so why would they? They like to be invited to the cocktail parties. But in this administration, they were the ones holding the torch of truth and transparency. Well, you better get going because we're gonna lose it if you don't. It's not gonna go well for you in this administration if you gaslight us. We're too smart for that shit.